The place where every storm in me finally finds release. Take me closer to your heart tonight. Hold me in your endless light. When the world feels far away, your love remains my guide. Your love remains my guide. Deeper in your mercy, in your mercy. Teach my soul to trust your way. Closer to your heart tonight is where I wanna stay. Draw me nearer, draw me deeper. Past my fears and doubts. Let your spirit fill my heart till your love overflows. I surrender. I believe you're all I'll ever need. Take me closer to your heart tonight. Draw me in your endless light. Hold me in your endless light. When the world feels far away, when the world feels far away, your love remains my guide. Take me deeper in your mercy. Teach my soul to trust your way. Closer to your heart tonight is where I wanna stay. Closer to your heart, Lord, keep me near forever here. Closer to your heart tonight. Tonight I'm searching for your presence. Tonight I'm reaching for your light. Draw me near, closer to your
Heart
heart tonight.
tonight.
I've
Woo!
been carrying heavy burdens, trying to find my way alone. But your voice keeps the quiet of the night.
Good morning, good morning, good morning to you all. To God be all the glory. Giving God thanks for waking us up on this beautiful Saturday morning in June of 2026 as we moving in rhythm and time and celebrating 250 years and our anniversary of America. There's so many things God has been showing me. And I know a lot of people ain't going to see it because it depends on your relationship that you have with the Lord. And I'm just showing you what the Lord has shown me. So I'm taking this time to share it with you on this beautiful, glorious morning. The sun is still rising. You know, the day is still rising. Rise and shine. Give God the glory, glory. Okay, let's go into our Father's prayer. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Lord, give us this day our daily bread and forgive us our trespasses. We forgive those who trespass against us. Lord, lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thy you are the kingdom, the power, and all the glory, forever and ever. Amen. You know how I do over here, Casey that speaks channel. Always got to start my morning off with prayer, giving God thanks for waking us up this morning, giving God thanks for opening us our eyes, breathing life into our body, giving God thanks for keeping us safe and covered last night as we slept and we slumbered. Giving God thanks for the food He given for the nourishment of our bodies, and giving God thanks for every financial blessing He has bestowed upon us in our lives. And it's so much to give thanks to God about. Even the little things that even count, that you should be grateful, even from the crumbs that the master give you from his table. And sometimes, a lot of times, we don't think about that. Because when you could be grateful for little, you could be grateful for much. Until you can learn those things, you can't have much. And even if you do get much, it's going to go away real quickly. Real quickly, before you know it, in the blink of an eye. Because sometimes we don't understand sacrifice and the obedience to our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. And I'm looking at a lot of things going on in the world today, and especially around this thing with immigration, TPS being canceled for Haitians and people from Syria. Okay, I don't know too much about Syrians. Okay, I just don't know. I didn't even know they exist here in the United States of America, to be honest with you. And a lot of times we thinking that these things are happening because that is the evil in the heart of the American white man, you could say, or the American people in general. But it's really not. Um, Man himself that is moving things the way is being moved in this nation. The policies are not really by men, it's really by God. But God uses men. Okay, and there are just some people that came here to the United States of America just don't belong here. And not in we not saying it, and I don't think America is saying to them that in a bad way, but in a good way. When you being plucked up and you being plucked out, meaning that there are just some people that just don't belong rooted in the United States of America. America has a certain quality to it, especially when it comes to assimilation. And when you look at groups of people, when they were living in this United States of America, groups of people from all different parts of the world and nations of the world, we see who are here for us, that are true and that are good to America, and to also make America as great as America is supposed to be, one of the greatest nations in the world. What cultures, what values, what shared beliefs all assimilate to make it that wonderful together? What makes it taste so well? What makes it look so great? When you got certain groups of people that do work together, have their differences, but they kind of make it work and it blends so well together. It's just like making a meal. When you making the best mac and cheese, what cheeses go so well together to give it that zesty taste or whatever taste you're looking for in mac and cheese. It's the same way you do. You got the paprika, you got the pepper, you got the salt, you got the all the things that blends together to make that flavor taste so well. And there's just some people that come into the United States, whether they're black immigrants, whether they're white immigrants, whether they're Asian immigrants, and whether they're Latino immigrants in the world, or African. Some just don't go fit in with American culture, and some do. And what's happening now is God is touching down in this nation, and he's allowing this nation to pluck out what it should not be and what shouldn't take root in the United States of America. Whether you want to call it racism, being discriminative, or whatever. Some places in the world are just not meant for certain groups of people. They don't belong. It used to be a program that used to come on PBS. That was Channel 13 when I was growing up in New York, watching some of the public broadcast stations, things that were going on local in your community, and also programs for learning programs for children. And one of the programs that used to pop up that we used to watch when we was coming up as kids called Electric Company was a learning educational program for children. And so we used to watch that, and also Sesame Street. Sesame Street might still run, I don't know. But it was what we had growing up when I was coming up in my time. And it used to be this one thing about things that are the same but different. And it used to be objects that they used to put among other objects. And they would say, what objects don't belong together? Which one of these don't belong together? And you would have to pick out whatever object that was there that just didn't belong with the other group, with the group. And that's how we have to think about assimilation, is that there are groups that are here in the United States that shouldn't take root in this culture here, that just don't belong in the culture here, and they don't belong in the United States, but they belong someplace else that may offer them the freedom, the happiness, what they're looking for within their own groups of people. Even though you might seem like y'all don't get along, but y'all have a whole lot of things more in common in the way you practice your faith, similarity in your culture, in your language, and all the other things that might make y'all more together. Now, United States of America, we are basically a nation of Christians. And in that Christian faith that we have, we also believe in practicing everything that we learn through our Christian education. Now, just like any learning, you have to go through the stages, ages and stages. We go through seasons. As far as speaking as Christians, we go through our different seasons when we go through life. We are not controlled by a man's religion or an ideology. We are controlled by the spirit that touches us from the heavens. And that's how we operate, the God of the universe. We move in the time of that season that God has given us to do certain things. And we get our instructions from the God. And the reason we can't communicate with these other nations that come over here that have different practices and different religions, and they don't practice the same religion as we do, is because they do it the way they used to doing it and what they were taught to do from their own culture in their own religious system. We were taught believe in the God of the universe, the God that is the God you don't see, but it exists. And that God is in each of our lives and how we all come together and bring apart. See, God brings things together and he brings things apart. Because you have something that is in one together, and then there's some things you have individually. There's some things that are just your own unique identity. And that's how God do things. And there's just some faith, some religions, and some cultures that just don't connect into the American fabric. Some things that just don't come here, don't belong here. And I was listening to Stephen Miller. I'm not a fan. Let's get that together. I'm not a fan of Stephen Miller. Even you can learn from a donkey, okay? An ass. because God could use anybody to speak. Stephen Miller says something, and it just said he is so right. People take it the way they want to take it, and I know he has his prejudice. Of course, he do. We all do. He does have his prejudice, and I don't think he is attacking out of a place of hatefulness or real, you know, a dislike for people. I don't think he dislike you. You might misinterpret it that way. You might feel that way. He's attacking you in a way where he hates you. But I don't think he's really trying to attack you to hate you. He's really trying to tell you the truth. And he's really trying to be as honest as possible that he can. And it's clear and it's transparent. And he's saying, look, they don't assimilate with our culture here. And he's talking about the Somalians. And the same thing with Tom Holman. Some black people might take it one way and offensive. I'm black, a foundational black American. All my history that I found of myself is right here in the roots of this country. And I'm just saying it from the trueness of my heart, is that I don't think that man was saying that to be cruel. I don't think he was saying it to be prejudiced. I don't think he was saying it to be, discriminative. I think what he was saying is that some cultures just don't belong in the United States of America. We just don't blend. You want to practice the God you practice, that's fine. But it doesn't work here in the United States of America because it doesn't really fit in with who we are. Now, yes, there are some people that have the Muslim culture in America, but those black Muslims in American culture, that was the United States of America that was created here. It wasn't created in, you know, Pakistan or India or in any country that is a Muslim religious country. We these Muslims that's in the United States of America, and I told you, you got to learn the black history. You got to learn you got to learn American history. And when you learn in American history, one of the most important things you need to find out is black history. Behind every great president, there was a great slave. There was a great black man behind his great work in his service. You of what made him great. If you go through your American history and telling you about where did the Nation of Islam come in place in the United States of America through Elijah Muhammad and his teachings. This is a black man from America who have changed his faith into the Muslim culture to adapt to rejecting white culture in their religion. Point blank, period. Okay? It's an ideology. It was being followed under some teaching of Elijah Muhammad, and then it moved on to whatever. But it's not the same as Muslims that come from other places of the world, because even though these Muslims in America reject the white man culture of religion, they still preach Jesus Christ. Hello. All right? They still preach from the Bible, but they just don't do it in white culture. To identify with their culture from the dark continent, not white culture. They do it in seeing Christ in the image of black culture, of a black man, a black Madonna, a black woman, and giving birth and bringing a gift into the world as a black man child that will be leading his nation to come to be for his people or whatever. To stand for righteousness, stand against injustice. That is the story behind the black Nation of Islam. They still practice the same religion in preaching in Christ. but they just don't do it in white culture. Where these Muslims from these other places come, they come with a Muslim ideology and a Muslim cultures and a Muslim whatever, and it's not the same with the Quran and everything. What the black man does in America is he uses the Muslim as far as for the discipline and the structuring, because it comes from, because most of the faith there in those dark continent was Islamic faith and was Jewish faith or whatever, some of that nature, and not that much of Christianity. But the thing is that in America, you transform your way of thinking. You blend in with the American culture. You also participate even in our holidays. And if you rejected anything about our holidays, the nation that you reject doing the pledge allegiance to our flag for this nation and being allegiance to this nation, anything of that you rejecting, you're not an American. You don't want to be an American, and you're not here to become an American. So that's the reason why you need to go back to a place where you will feel much more happier, being allegiance to that place, having yourself to praise to whatever for that country, and also have something that y'all all share as one together. And that's what this nation of America stands for: one nation under God, meaning the God of the Bible. We all share that one God of the Bible. We can have our differences, but one thing we going to share together is that one God in our nation, and that's the God of the Bible. Okay, so if you come here with any other kind of religious ideology or religion belief, we can probably help you go to those places where you can practice it in the way that you want to practice it in your image, and also live among people that might be different in some cultural differences, but the same under the same God. That's all it is. As simple as that. So that's what we are saying, that is the message coming from our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, so that we all can get there together and we all can live in this world and have world peace. But until we get to understand that, people fighting in the United States of America for rights for this, rights for that. Your right is not, if you come from the United States of America, what you need to do is work inside the framework of the Constitution, not to include anything or take anything out. That's written in blood from the people of the natives of this country that put those things in writing, and that is constitutional, and that is law, and that comes from not only just from man, but it also comes from God. If you want any changes of anything for rights or whatever, then you should be going back to your homeland and fight for those freedom rights or whatever you need to get. You didn't build this nation. We welcome you in. We welcome you in to work here. We welcome you here to be in fellowship with us or whatever. But when you come asking for rights from us and demanding things from us, then it's time to go home and demand those rights from the country that you left and the country that made you feel dehumanized and made you oppressed. This is where you need, because the people, the natives here, they fight for theirs. They fight within the framework of the Constitution. Like Dr. Martin Luther King quoted said, America, be true to what you put on paper. And that's to the American people, not to the foreigners, not to immigrants who gave up their citizen birthright to come join another nation. And when you join another nation, you follow the leaders and you follow the people who were born and rooted here. That's who you follow behind. You don't follow behind nobody else from your country. Now, if you want all those rights that you demanding, then you need to go to your country and demand those rights. And the reason I put in here and everything in my title of this video and stuff when I'm talking about certain things is because a lot of people don't seem to understand that not everybody is belong in the United States of America. There are certain people from Europe that don't belong in the United States of America. There's certain people from Africa from all different seven continents of the world. This don't belong here in this part of the world. Don't belong in the United States of America. They don't share the same values, cultures, religion. All of that's supposed to all blend in together to assimilate. And we can build on that same understanding. When we're not speaking the same language, we're not worshiping and practicing in the same God, we cannot build in that type of relationship to be able to live among one another in peace. We can't. And that's what a lot of people don't seem to understand when they move into another country, into another nation. That's when war breaks out. That's when you start having all the conflict and confusion going on. And that's what the devil does. But when you got an understanding with God, you understand that God planted you in this nation. And this is the house that he planted you in. And this is the place you shall flourish. If you're not from here, then this ain't the place for you. If you having such a miserable time here and you want things to be on your side of justice, but your justice is in your own homeland. And the way they want to say Steve Miller is this, that, and the other. No, I ain't no fan, okay? But I listen to even getting something from the crumbs that I can get from the master's table. And he wasn't saying nothing that was wrong. And I don't care if black people want to call him a racist, they could call him a racist. But I'm not going to call him all of that, okay? Because he's saying something that is real and something that is true. We got too many people living over here that just don't belong here. And TPS means temporary. It doesn't mean permanent. So you should have made your arrangements to build your life back home in your own country while you was here taking advantage of whatever opportunities you had here in the United States under your TPS status. You got too comfortable in the United States and this ain't your home. It was only a temporary time, but we can't, if things ain't well, he said we could send you to a place where it is okay for you to stay there, but you gotta leave. That's it. We could send you to a country where you can live more safe and don't have to worry about terrorism or whatever's going on right now in the country that you came from that seemed to have been having so much unrest, wars, or terrorism, whatever was going on. We could send you somewhere that's similar to your culture that you have, and you can stay there and it's safe. That's it. That's all he's saying. Not to be a racist and not to, you know, anything of that nature. See, people complain about America. And the thing about America is that you don't like America, but you won't leave. Make it make sense. You don't like America, but you won't leave. Okay. The White House is the people's house, and the president is our representative. And whatever the American people want is what the president has to do. Okay? He is our representative. Hold on. And the voice that he's listening to is the American people voice. He's not listening to himself. It's the American people, whether you white, those who voted for him, whether you black, whether you white, whether you whatever, and you American, and this is your home, and you love it here. You ain't complaining. You ain't out here saying, oh, this ain't right, this ain't right, this ain't right. When you are an immigrant, okay? You don't immigrant somewhere and don't like the rules and don't like the laws and you want to sign up for it. Come on. You only immigrant to a place where you know falls right into everything that you desire from your heart. You want to remember something that is similar to home. You want to have something in common with those people. You want to be able to speak the same language. You want to be able to worship in the same God, in the same image as you. Okay? That's what you want. But this is America. And of course, white supremacy is in America. But then again, we got black America. And some of y'all don't respect black America. And black America is actually who actually opened the doors for you. But you come here, but you don't respect us. You know what I'm saying? You don't treat us with any kind of dignity. You don't treat us with any kind of respect. Okay? But then you again, you want us to be out there putting our life out there on the battlefield for you, to die for you, to help you to stay in America. I don't think so. I don't think so. You had that opportunity, but you blew it. You don't see what's behind the flag because America, that's the stain. you know, white supremacy and the Chattel's enslaved people, okay? The descendants. And when you come here, you don't understand our story, then you don't understand America. And you ain't trying to be an American. You trying to be something other. Because see, when you come here, you got to see us as a human being as equal as you as well. And you don't come here and think you above us and think you better than us because we here and have been put in a position that was forced on us, not something that we chose, but you chose to come. We didn't choose. Our ancestors, they didn't choose. They were forced. They became in bondage, but you don't understand that. You chose, you signed up for it. It's a difference. And when you come here and you can't respect us, then hey, this ain't America for you. America cannot be for you because you don't know who runs this place. Because everybody come here, who you making money from? Who you profiting from? You profiting off of Black America. We set the standard. We set the culture. And when you come here and you don't associate with us and you don't really blend with us, you gotta go. It is what it is. You got to go. When you don't respect Black America and you don't acknowledge who we are and learn anything about our history, because behind every great president there was in the United States of America, the whole truth behind the story was a slave. Okay? And all through history. And when you come into this country and you treat a certain group of people a certain type of way, and you feel you want to have protection over your life so you can harm one of us, that ain't gonna happen. See, this is why you gotta go. Because when you come here, you gotta see us as yourselves. Okay, we see you, but you don't see us, and that's why when you come into our communities, we do business with you. We work with you, even though some of you have been very cruel and some are wicked, and you shot some of us in stores for claiming and making false claims of theft. But we still learned how to forgive and move on and still do business in your community. Who eats the fried chicken all the time and they have your little Kennedy fried chicken places and your little businesses like that in the little black ghettos and all of that other stuff? I'm talking about them Arabs. I'm talking about Arabs, Pakistanis, Indian, whatever the hell they are. Okay. Who business? Where do you open your little businesses at? Is a reason for that. And when you come here, you don't respect that. You don't even have us employed in these businesses. You ain't even putting the money back into the black community. You're not even putting the money. You make money off of all the urban outerwear that we wear, that we make you know, whatever we might wear during that season, and we promote in those outerwears. You get that money through black culture, black art, black creativity. That's where you making your money from. So when you come here and you being disrespectful to us, you being disrespectful to this economy. So and that goes for the white people that you probably open up your establishment for. You hurting their business. You're hurting their business. You don't understand. So when you come here and you making money off of black culture, you making money for everybody, not just for you. And that money's supposed to get back into their hands because they the ones who brought you here. We didn't. But we the one who's selling you the product. We the ones who's the product here in America is black culture. So when you come here and you being disrespectful, then you gotta go. You don't assimilate here. You ain't here for the real American dream. And you're not really here to build America. You're here to steal and destroy. I wanted y'all to listen to this video that I had put up. Okay, I never heard of her before, but I came across her platform and she got something to say.
Here. Now, we've been talking about delineation, drawing that line around our people, our history, our debt. But you know what's crazy? The louder we get, the more folks start tripping. Today, we pulling back the curtain on the reactions. From the Pan-Africanists calling us divisive, to the Democrats sweating over our votes, to the Republicans trying to use us as a pawn. Let's break down why everybody got an opinion on our movement and why that just proves we're on the right track. First, you got the critics, like that content creator saying delineation gonna start a war in the community, saying we creating problems for ourselves. Let me ask you this. Was it a war when they brought Black Americans here on slave ships? Was it divisive when they created Jim Crow laws just for Black Americans? Nah. But soon as we create a policy class for ourselves, a specific remedy for a specific crime, now we the problem? They say the solution is for Black Americans to be together. Together under what? Under a Black umbrella that gets our reparations check split 50 ways? Under a Pan-African flag while folks from the continent look down on Black Americans calling us lazy? We tried together. They gave us diversity. We want our debt. Then you got the immigrant pushback. They calling Black Americans nativist, saying we being xenophobic, saying we using slurs like tethers. But let's keep it a bean. If you come to my house, eat my food, sleep in my bed, and then tell me I'm the problem for asking you to contribute, that's not xenophobia. That's accountability. They talk about Marcus Garvey and Malcolm X, figures who fought for Black economic power and self-determination.
And she's not my generation. But whoever poured into her for her wisdom and her gifts of how she's speaking about the problems that we see in black culture today, in black America, she's speaking from the ancestors. They groomed her well, okay? And this is one of our children who's doing this reporting on black America. And I wanted y'all to hear it coming from our young people because we old people and everything, you can't teach us nothing because we already been there, done that, and we know what it's about. But our young people to go on to carry that fire, to teach these people when they come to the United States, hold on to your identity. Don't let these people try to bull you because they don't come here to be an American. They came here to be who they are from the other nation where they come from. Because a real American, when you give up those identities of your other country and you come here, you don't give it up, you just blend in. You don't even fight about it. You just blend in. You follow the American people. You don't come here trying to put yourself before the American people. It's just like me going in your country and putting myself before your people. We don't do that. We treat our guests well, but they also have to respect your home. Let's go on and listen to what she's saying.
Discrimination. That's exactly what we're doing. We ain't rejecting solidarity, we're rejecting exploitation. We're saying you can't claim kinship when it's time for benefits, but distance when it's time for our struggle. You don't get to be African when it's convenient and American when it's profitable. Now, the politicians. Democrats are scared. They see us asking, what's in it for Black Americans specifically? And they start sweating. They built a whole coalition.
What people got to understand about AI, artificial intelligence, is that you're the brain working behind the whatever app there is. You're the brain. Is not artificial. Is when they just going to help you put the words in a way where it won't be dismissed. You're the brain behind the AI. It's a human brain. So let's go on.
On our votes, giving everybody else tangibles, DREAM acts, gender policies, LGBTQ protections, while telling Black Americans to wait. Now we saying, nah, we want our line item. And they call Black Americans disruptive. And the Republicans, they smiling. They think they can use our frustration about immigration to push their agenda. Let me be clear. We are not a wedge. We are a sovereign people with a sovereign claim. We ain't aligning with nobody who ain't writing the check. This ain't about left or right. This about what's owed. But here's the proof we winning. California. When that reparations task force sat down, the big debate was who qualifies? The Pan-African crew said all Black people. But the Black American argument won. Lineage, descendants of U.S. slavery. That's a policy precedent, y'all. That's our philosophy in ink. They said we was just internet fluff, but we shifted a whole state policy. That's material. So family, the backlash means we're hitting a nerve. The old playbook is scared of our new strategy. Our unity ain't in a vague Blackness. It's in a specific lineage. It's in a targeted demand. Let them debate us. Let them fear us. Let them try to use Black Americans. We ain't moving. The line is drawn.
Okay, y'all. That's what I had to share with y'all this morning on Black America and on our issues of today. What we are dealing with as Black American people on reparations is a normal economic and spiritual necessity for Black America because these people, they come in here, they get in business loans, whatever, they opening up businesses in the Black community, and they not circulating the money back into the Black community. What's going on with that? Now we on to it. That's why we say we got to pluck them up on out of here, and they got to go. Now they want to come with some Hinduism protection. Ain't no Hinduism protection coming over no Black American protection. I could tell you that much. We ain't having that either. We ain't having that here either. We ain't taking root in that either. They protection got to go back to their country where they could be protected practicing their Hinduism. Okay? We ain't doing that. Black America, we ain't doing that. Okay? That ain't going to happen here either. Well, anyway, right? And I was also talking about like culture, right? This is us talking about I said reparations. Reparations are a discussion rooted in the history of slavery, segregation, discrimination experienced by descendants of enslaved people in the United States. My view is that this conversation should be led by those whose families experienced that history in America. Nobody from no other place should come here and speak for our reparations. Our reparations should be spoken by people who have lived through that experience in their history, not somebody that didn't come from that history. And it says people who immigrated to the United States from other countries have their own unique histories and experiences, but those are different from the history that forms the basis of the United States reparations debate. In my opinion, any claims for historical injustice tied to another nation belong within that nation's own political and legal process. We can respect people from different backgrounds while also recognizing that different communities have different historical claims. Respecting those distinctions is part of having an honest conversation about history and public policy. Amen. Okay. And here's this one. I wanted to share this one. And I said Brooklyn and Manhattan and good people, great memories in one city, L&B Pizza. And I remember growing up, I do remember growing up eating the best pizza made by Italians, real Italians. As time went on and new immigrants started coming, they started doing these pizza routines like in New York, I would say more like Mexican people from Mexico and all them places, and it don't taste the same. It's a pizzeria out here that I go to here in Delaware, and it's owned by a Italian, small family Italian business, pizzeria. Don't you know that's where I order my pizza from? They have Geno's. They have the best damn pizza. I don't do all of those franchise pizzas like Pat's Pizza and what's the other one? This other pizza thing out here. Now when they order it from the schools and stuff, yeah, we eat those types of pizzas. But those Italian pizzas back in the days when I was growing up in Brooklyn, New York, they had the freaking best. And I'm talking about the best Italian pizzas. I was like, where they at? Why don't they come back and own their own little pizzerias in the black community? We love y'all. We miss y'all. And I just wanted to give a shout out because I do remember we had our differences, but one thing we had in common when it came the medallions, you know, the Italian medallions. Okay, we used to wear on in the days the gangster medallions and everything else like that with the Italians. We had our fights and our differences, but one thing about the black culture, the American culture, along with Italians, we all eventually started assimilating. And what brought us together was pizza because pizza in the black neighborhood in the summertime, the pizzeria was packed nonstop in the black community with Italian pizzas because they made the I'm sorry, they made the best pizza. I don't like the pizzas coming from all these other different foreigners making the pizza. I like the Italian pizza. Sorry, it's just certain people that just make certain groups of ethnic foods and they just do it the best, and that's the Italian pizza. Sometimes I used to go there and get baked ziti, the best ziti. We used to get the best ziti from them. Lasagna, Sicilians, you know, slices and all of that other stuff, the square little Sicilian slices by the Italian pizzerias. Back in the days in the Italian ices, they call them out here and where I'm at called water ice. Well, we used to call them Italian ices. We used to love getting our Italian ices and Italian pizzas. Where are you Italians at? Stand up, Italy. Italians, where are you? Italian Americans, where are you? You know? Where are you? We sure miss you in Brooklyn. Because y'all used to have that pizzeria pumping in the summertime. This is the kind of cultural foods we talking about that blends in with America. We love your pizza. Black America loves Italians by the Italians. We love your pizza. We wish you would come back. That's something. And with the Jewish community, the best bagels, the best bagel shops. Okay, I grew up in New York now, Sanctuary City. That's where all the immigrants come. They come to New York and they go to Chicago and places like LA, wherever. But where I'm at, when I was growing up in New York, the best bagels that you can eat was at a Jewish bagel shop. We used to get the Jewish bagel shop. You could get it with lots on it and everything else. Oh my God, herring. Um, they made the best bagels. I don't care what nobody's at. In New York, I grew up with those bagels. And when we used to get our little summer youth check in the 80s, we used to always like to go down to Delancey Street. And that's where a lot of garment shops were, owners, wholesales, wherever. And that's where we used to go and buy our designer wear on Delancey Street. And we used to love to go to the Jews because we used to get it at a discount price. Other than buying it in the stores, we used to go down there where they had sold it at the wholesale price, and we used to get it cheaper that way. That's how Black America is. Black America is the economy of America. And if you come to the United States of America and you ain't giving us a good quality of your service and you acting shady and nasty towards us, we won't F with you. Okay? We want you out of, we don't even want your business here. That's how it is in America. But we did accept, even though we fought with the Italians. Oh, we had some, we probably still do. But one thing we give them credit for in the black community is they held it down with the pizzerias, with they little Italian businesses. Now we can take the Italians, and also that's how we roll when it comes to Black Americans and Italians with the pizzas. We on point with that. And with Jewish people with the garments and the wholesales is going down there to get it for a discount price. And also with Jewish bagels and stuff, they served the best bagels and the best garments. Okay, we had a good relationship with them. All these other new people coming, these new immigrants coming and everything, they don't care about America. They just come in here just to, I don't know. They not really contributing nothing really that we didn't really already have for ourselves. That's what I'm saying. Well, with that being said, I love you. God bless you. You will have a wonderful and blessed Saturday. And if God's willing, I may or may not come back with you later. Please hit that like button on your way out or on your way when you come and watch the replay. Please hit the like button. Like. And if this is your first time to my channel, welcome to the KC McDaniel That Speaks channel. Hope you have a wonderful time here. And you can subscribe and hit that bell so when I come on, you get the notification. God bless you.